Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So, it seems that we have a last echo. Everything is fixed now. So, my name is Eric Prema, and I am the Deputy Director of CETU, which is the French Center for Tunnel Studies. I am also Vice Chairman of ITA COSUF, the Technical Committee of ITA, in charge of operational safety for underground facilities. And I am a member of the Payak Tunnel Committee as well. So I'm very glad to welcome all of you to this French technical session dedicated to tunnel renovation and sustainability. I'm talking to you from the premises of Arcadis Lyon for this very special digital event. So that's quite new. Thank you all for joining. Sustainable development is a very broad concept. We have to go deeper than just mentioning, the three social, economic, and environmental pillars. We have to try to find together some more concrete ideas about what a relevant, sustainable tunnel renovation project involves. What are the key issues that we have to address? What constitutes a successful sustainable tunnel refurbishment project? Are there some available methodological elements to achieve this goal? Of course, we had to make choices because only 4 lectures cannot allow us to cover the full spectrum of questions related to sustainability. But we definitely do hope that this session will give you some practical examples and illustrations, and that it will provide a few interesting ideas that will trigger further discussions. Key points that we are going to address are criteria for a sustainable approach, how a major refurbishment project can be used to give a new function for a tunnel, for example, to promote sustainable modes of transport, how we can reduce energy consumption through lighting innovations, for instance. So, we are really looking forward to engaging in very fruitful discussions with all of you, and I hope that you will enjoy this technical discussion. May I just remind the speakers to stick to the 15 minutes allowed for the presentations so that we can have a few questions at the end of each lecture. Now I think it is time to go into the topics, and I would like to give the floor to Onno, Sminia from COB. I'm a little bit in advance, but Onno, is everything okay? We can move on? Okay. So Onno will be talking about the COB sustainability program. Please, Onno, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I hope I'm visible and everybody can hear me. So my name is Onno Sminia from the Dutch platform Center for Underground Construction. I'm the platform coordinator of the sustainability program, and I'd like to tell you something about what we're actually doing at the sustainability platform of the COB. And maybe to give you some background about my personal background, is that I'm doing this from my daily work, which is being an innovation manager at Croonwolter&dros in the Netherlands, and also working there on a lot of sustainable issues. Well, to tell you something about the program we had with the Center for Underground Building in the Netherlands in 2020, we've had 5, I think, interesting projects. One of them was the sustainability checkup, which I will tell more about later on. One of those was the think tank, which is related to the sustainability checkup. We had the catalog for energy reduction in tunnels project in 2020. We had a special project for reducing energy usage of tunnel lighting in 2020. And we have done a project to assess the willingness of the sector to work together in creating a Circularity Hub. These are 5 projects I will elaborate upon in the coming presentation. But first, I want to tell something about some seminars we organized next to the projects. We've organized 3 summer circularity seminars in which we took upon us to come together with a lot of participants from the Dutch COB and explore the subject of circular design, circular procurement, and to get circular examples from other industries. And we combined our knowledge that we gained in these 3 sessions, and we combined it in this publication, which is available on the website. And what we gained from these sessions were a lot of knowledge for everybody that joined us, but also a lot of enthusiasm to cooperate and to go further with this topic of circularity. So for the next year, 2021, we have 2 very interesting projects going to be there for circularity. I will tell you more about that later as well in the presentation. So one of the first projects was the sustainability checkup, and it is actually a checklist for identifying improvements for sustainability in tunnels. And well, we identified a need for such a checklist for assessing the sustainability in tunnels. And in 2019, we've had this project called Sustainability on the Map. We drafted the first version of this checklist. And as you can see on the right, this consisted out of 5 categories, from energy, materials, environment, organization, and resilience. And those are the topics, the categories on which we actually check for sustainability of existing road tunnels. And we have created a checklist which you can use to really to score the tunnel on every subject. And well, during 2020, we got a lot of feedback on the first checklist, and we made a second version, and we incorporated this sustainability checklist in the broader Centrum for Underground Building Structural Health Analysis, by which we kind of reached our goal, which was to incorporate sustainability when assessing the health of an existing tunnel. So this was quite a good thing for us to end up with, and not only end up with, because at the same time we are having a think tank, which is the group of people, the experts who actually perform the sustainability checkup for this existing tunnel. And during the last year, we actually performed 2 of those checkups on sustainability, being part of a structural health analysis in the Netherlands. And we gained some I think, interesting insights. Of course, we gained insights on which topics we can gain upon for sustainability and possible improvements. And to give an example, we saw some tunnels which had installations of being 20 years or even older. And we also saw lighting installations in tunnel which were already 15 years old and were still using fluorescent tubes instead of like the energy saving LED lights. And overall, we also identified a kind of a lack of information about sustainability in tunnels, which we actually saw on all these 5 subjects. And this isn't particularly bad that we found this, identify this lack of information, but it was something we brought to the attention of the tunnel owners, and which they really took it upon themselves to increase the amount of information that is actually present. And right now we're also looking at possible improvements for those tunnels. So the think tank is the group of experts performing the checkup, and it was created in 2019 by publishing a position paper on the hurdles of increasing sustainability in tunnels. And besides doing the checkup, it will also assist the project later on, maybe to pick measures from our energy reduction catalog and really implement it in their tunnel to make it more sustainable. So talking about the energy reduction catalog, it provides some measures to parties willing to reduce the usage of energy in tunnels. And it was first created in 2019. It is a website. It is an ongoing website. So in the Netherlands, we call it a groeiboek, which actually means it's like a book, but it keeps growing. And so because of that reason, we updated the groeiboek in 2020 with the latest insights and technological developments. So it's an ongoing project, and we can see that a lot of parties benefit from it, and also that a lot of parties gave their knowledge to put into the Groupbook. So it's really good to see that not only everybody in the sector is using it, but is also contributing to the body of knowledge that we have there. Then we have a special program for the reduction of energy usage of tunnel lighting, because this is the biggest energy consumer in tunnels. So we have a special program for this one. It's been a multi-year project since 2019 in cooperation with CETU. So I would also advise you, if you're interested in this topic, to go to the session of Séverine Besson on innovations in energy savings at 4 p.m. today. And well, in 2020, we put up an agenda with pilot projects. We actually need to do this tunnel lighting using less energy. And this is a program, an agenda for pilots in 2020 and 2021. And as we can see on the right, the goal is to reduce the energy consumption of LED, and at the same time ensure the safety levels. And we have a lot of questions incorporated in the agenda. So how can we lower the luminance using white LED light? What's the most appropriate color temperature? How to light the walls of the tunnels? Maybe can we shorten the adaptation curve in the beginning of the tunnel dynamically when lower speed supply? So these are all kind of topics that we are exploring in this agenda. So it has been ongoing until, well, it will go on, but until now we have done several pilots already. So in the Mont Blanc tunnel in 2018, we assessed the brightness on the walls of the tunnels. And by we, I don't only mean the Center for Underground Building, but of course in collaboration with other parties from those countries. And in 2019, they looked at the visibility in tunnels using cold white light, warm white light, and sodium light. And in last year in the Netherlands, there was a test in the Gaasperdammer tunnel, and they assessed if we can lower the luminance of the LED lights when using white light. And also they looked at the effect of white asphalt on the perception of the driver. Well, of course, I want to take this opportunity to ask everybody to cooperate, for parties that are looking and willing to share knowledge or even tunnels for pilot testing and collaborate on this subject. So please, if you're interested in this agenda for reducing energy consumption of tunnel lighting, please contact us. And last but not least, we have done this assessment of the willingness of the sector to create a shared e-waste circularity hub. So this is the one on the circular subject. And well, the goal, of course, is to decrease the amount of raw materials used in tunnels. And we've done an assessment among the participants of the Center for Underground Building. And we asked them the question, would you participate in the creation of a sector-wide e-waste circularity hub? And we've had an overwhelming 74% answer, which was yes. So a lot of parties are really interested in working together to create a way of using, let's say, used secondhand and harvest installations from one tunnel and maybe use it in another or outside of the tunnel sector, and in that way reduce the amount of raw materials that are used. And because of the success, we are preparing 2 follow-up projects in 2021. One of which is the direct follow-up of this project, and will go further into the creation of such a hub and explore the do's and don'ts and the boundaries that are actually needed. And the other one will be an assessment to see what materials will actually be released from tunnels in the coming years with all the coming renovation projects. Thank you very much. Please contact me if you have any questions, or maybe there still is some time now to do so. Thank you.
Okay.
Onno, for this very nice lecture. So you gave a very broad overview on important issues related to sustainability. So it's very interesting, the kind of general introduction also for our session. I just remind you, all the attendees, that you can ask your questions using the chat box. So please do not hesitate. I can see that we have an information by Harry Dehan that gives you his email address if you want to get some more information, I guess. Onno, maybe to start the discussion, because we have, let's say, 3-4 minutes. Can you maybe give some more information about the approach you followed with the different stakeholders? Did you try to experiment and to have some practical implementation of your ideas with specific projects and tunnel owners? And if you had to classify all these sustainability criteria, would you say that one is more important than the other, or you have to address all together at the same level?
Yeah, thank you. Well, good questions. I'm scrolling towards the structural health analysis sustainability part. So maybe first to answer your second question, I don't particularly think there is a priority in these categories, although it depends on the goals of the tunnel and the tunnel owner, of course. I can see that in when building new tunnels, there's always, we will look at the environment. So that's one that's always been done in tunnel construction. I see that in the Netherlands at the moment we are starting really to look at the energy and materials that are used, because we want to go towards an energy neutral situation, and we want to build circular. But more and more we also come to the conclusion that you will need an organization that facilitates these ways of working. So that's also why the organization is really important. And yeah, you need a way in which you can adapt to unforeseen situations and to climate change. So I think they're all quite important, and it depends on the situation how you want to prioritize these categories. The first one, how did we take along stakeholders? We have made a first draft of this checklist. And in the end of 2019, we have had a session with a lot of people from the sector, and they actually took it upon themselves to use the checklist we made on their own tunnel. And we got a lot of feedback about what was useful, what wasn't so useful, and we tried to incorporate it in the second version. So before we launched it, we did indeed test our model on the usefulness of tunnel owners. And then, of course, in 2020, when we did the 2 assessments of Dutch tunnels, yeah, we also gained insights on how you can contribute to the sustainability of the tunnel. And I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you, Onno. Are there any elements related to the costs that it implies? I mean, undertaking all these new investigations or taking into account these sustainable issues?
No, there are not. So it is I think an assessment, a first assessment, which will lead to insights in on the score of sustainability of the current situation. And I think doing and improving and making costs for those things is a second step. And right now we're focusing on the first steps and creating the insights that actually is needed to go into the second step and to improve it.
Okay, Onno. Maybe one other question, because when we talk about sustainable development, you know, these famous three pillars, social and economical, environmental, quite often the one that is a little bit forgotten is the social one. Do you have ideas in your program to better account for these social issues in your sustainable approach?
It's a good question. I think the whole topic of sustainability is derived from social environmental issues that we are having. So I think the topic of sustainability is a social one. Also, if we look at the sustainability checklist, we have some that are really technical about energy, about materials, but we also have one about environment, because it also a tunnel also inflicts some emissions to the environment. So and also the organization is also important. But those are all also in the tunnel object. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. I do think your answer is quite interesting, but I think in short, the whole topic of sustainability is a social one. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Onno. Actually, as you said, it's a quite challenging issue, the social one, but it's also one major question we have to address while working on these tunnel renovation projects, for sure. So I think now we have to stop because for some technical breakdown, because in 2 minutes we will have to start next presentation. So thank you very much, Onno, and see you very soon.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.